Hello and welcome to this March 2026 energy reading. So I nearly said February energy readings because we're still in February. I am recording this on, goodness, I don't know what date it is, but I know it's March in a couple of days. I think it's like Friday, I don't know, 27th or something. Yeah, that would make sense. It is March the 1st in a couple of days, Sunday the 1st. So I thought, let's take a look at March. Let's get ahead of the game. And yes, just take a moment to arrive and take a deep breath. We are now in the energy of spring. Can you feel it? It just feels a much lighter, even though sometimes the weather isn't great, but the temperature has definitely gone up a wee bit. I have got out of my jumpers, even though I'm roasting anyway with the hormones of menopause, but sure, that's another topic altogether. Okay, so let's take a moment to arrive. And I'm just going to ask for just some collective guidance for us for the month of March 2026. I do know, I haven't really looked at the astrology, but I do know on the 3rd of March, it is a full moon. I think, I'm nearly sure it's in Virgo. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a lunar eclipse. So the doorway is closing, the eclipse doorway, and it is a full moon. Let's just go with Virgo. I will just, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I have a feeling, probably should have looked this up before I went on, but I just have a free moment here. And we also have then like 2 weeks later, 21st. So yeah, a couple of weeks later, then we have what's called the Spring Equinox, otherwise known as Ostara. And speaking of hormones, that makes sense. Ostara is named after the beautiful goddess Ostara, connected to estrogen, which is connected to the egg, which is the female hormone, which is what declines, what declines in menopause. And this fire that we feel, this like energy, and I do want to do a workshop on the menopause. I have been talking it, but from a spiritual perspective, I promise you, I'm resisting it massively, because it does involve downloads and does involve just me spending a bit of time in this creation egg mode. I will do it. And really, if you imagine these hot flushes, you know, the body, if you imagine up until this point as women, and apologies any of the men watching, but I'm sure you have women connected to you, so it's good to understand this. You know, as we enter the 3rd stage in our life, we have our maiden stage, which is our inner child or inner teenager, right up until we're a mother, then that's our mother stage. And then we enter what's called our crone. That is us entering. A crone means crown. That is us being crowned, queendom, okay? And it is all about us entering into this 3rd stage of our life where we step into our purpose and our power, okay? Our light, okay? And that means we have to go within. That means that we have to, our estrogen, which is the female hormone that allows us sympathy, the female hormone that allows us to be giving, it just drops. And we have no patience, we struggle, we need to set boundaries. It's like not, we need to stop giving to others and to receive, to balance everything. So you stop, you receive, and then you give again. Okay, so I've been through this process. I'm probably now in the menopause 2 years. I have done it without any medication. I am not against anybody that does. It's just the way I live my life. And I nearly did, but I didn't. And it's been tough, but I have to say I'm through it and I feel much better now. And it is an initiation in itself. It is a gateway, it is a doorway, just like giving birth is, just like you arriving. You know, so yeah, it is, it's just interesting that I'm talking about this. And you know, the estrogens, that drops. Generally, cortisol rises, this fire, which is what gives us this hot flushes. And it's like the fire is, it has nowhere to go unless we channel it, unless we give it a purpose, unless we go, right, let's look at things in our life, okay? Look at where I'm happy, look at where I'm not, look at where I'm in alignment. Okay, so I've spent about 5 minutes here talking about that. So for whatever reason, obviously, somebody needed to hear that. So let's ask for March. I obviously was talking about the Spring Equinox, which is our rebirth. And yeah, the birth of the new you. birth of the new world, actually. So let's ask for what guide is here to guide us and to help us in the month of March, please. Okay. And talking about all things wonderfully feminine, here we have the Joan of Arc. And that is the sacred activist. So we are being asked to speak our truth. Okay. Yes, this feels predominantly female, but it could also be connected to the divine. You know, if you're a masculine that is predominantly feminine, meaning you're just a little bit softer, gentler, you know, you have maybe kept things in also. Okay. Do not be afraid, stand up for your beliefs. So if you look at this card, the throat chakra is coming up. There is some stuff needs to be said. Many of you could be getting throat issues, sore throats. You know, I know in my throat chakras, but as a child I used to bite my tongue. So you could be anything to do with the teeth, the jawline. You know, it is sort of up. The ears is more the third eye area, but the throat is a big connection to the heart. But also we've got these swords. So just allow her to sort of step into your energy field and just cut these swords of energy that's no longer serving. It is really important at this time where there is massive change globally, massive shift in consciousness and awareness and all sorts of stuff going on, that you do daily cord cutting in the morning and in the evening. Okay. For yourself, for your loved ones, your children particularly, because there is a lot going on out there. And if you just use your phone or if you watch videos, you're connected to all of that. And yes, it's really, really good to be aware. It's super important to be aware of what's going on and not be complacent. But it's also important to not go down a rabbit hole. It is important to not allow that to knock you off, because you are in this little part of the world, and you know, there's not a lot you can do to control that unless you are directly linked to it, unless you have a massive platform to do something about it, to bring awareness. But what you can do is stay in your lane, have an awareness, you know, and yeah, awareness is the first step, to be honest, and then go, right, okay, how is this related to what's going on with me? How can I, you know, teach my children, for example, more about the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and all of that, and how can I stay in alignment with myself to move towards that purpose, if that is something that you want to do. Okay, so let's ask for, I'm going to look at the card at the bottom. Yeah, so Kalima, many people are going through like a death, because when there is a rebirth, there is a death. The death, it can be feeling, many people are feeling very not well, whether you've got flu or aches, pains, you know, sickness, you know, that is the body, you know, just detoxing. That is the body getting rid of old energy, old cells dying away. It is part of the process, and all you can do is surrender, you know, cut the cords to dramas, fears and limitations. There we go. Anything not serving. So let's ask for, I'll just leave that card at the bottom. What does that say? Oh, gentleness. Yeah, interesting. You have to be gentle and kind to yourself when you're going through this. And that's why you focus on you. And then when you're better, then you can see how you want to help others then. The other card that we have here is overcoming limitations, karmic release. So that is what we are still in the completion of the 9-year, really right up until the end of March. April is a brand new energy with Easter coming in. Easter is early, well, I think it's early this year. It's the start of April, isn't it? So that is like the ultimate rebirth. That's why there's eggs everywhere, and, you know, bunnies, leaps, things like that. So karmic release, let go of the need to be right. Yeah, that's a big one. Okay, and that is, you know, letting go of this, what's the word, the old energy of fighting, the old energy of having to have your say, having to speak your truth. like you can only do that. Like, you know, we've Joan of Arc here, throat chakra. If you have to speak your truth to somebody, you know, you can only do that if they're in the place to hear you. And if they are not, and they might be, and you can try, but if they are not, you can speak to their soul. If they're not, you can write letters, get a lot off your chest. You can do it energetically. So there's a lot of stuff you can do that way. It doesn't need to be directly to the person or the situation. But that letting go of the need to be right is really, really important, because what if we're all right? What if both parties are right? Because that is their view of the world, and that is what they believe to be true based on their beliefs. Okay, so all you can do is, if you are in a situation where you can work together, then yeah, and if not, you're just at very different vibrations in life. Okay, so let's ask for 3 keywords to help us stay in focus, I suppose, in the month of March. Okay, 3 keywords, please. 1. Yeah, we have gentleness that fell down in the crowd there, but I'm going to go for 3 others. Okay, healing. Yeah, healing. Okay, it's probably back to front, so I'll not put them up. Healing and balance and love. Oh my God, I love that. So healing. What does healing mean to you? Okay, so you can obviously go to somebody to help you heal, which I highly recommend. I couldn't have got here if I hadn't have done that. You know, it could be any modality. It can be Reiki, you know, energy work. It can be reflexology. It can be massage. There's many people that I attune to Reiki level 1, 2 masters, and they are all, they can be masseuses, they can be reflexologists. You know, they don't necessarily need to be doing the Reiki, but you're getting the same level of healing, but through maybe a more touched base modality. You can do healing through journaling, through just walking in nature, reading books, you know, listening to podcasts, YouTube videos. You know, depending on budget, there is lots available. Like, you know, years ago there wasn't. Like, there is an abundance available, and it's a wee bit like, I'm being shown the analogy of water. Okay, so water is probably one of the healthiest things that you can drink. There is a brilliant book, and I learned this when I was doing my holistic nutrition course, called The Body's Many Cries for Water. It's one of the best books out there. And you can heal so many ailments by just drinking water. Do you know? But because it's free, it's like, I'm not sure. We feel like we need to pay for something for it to be valuable, which is not always true. I'm not going to say it's never true, but it's not always true. So yeah, there is a lot of an abundance of free things out there, or less costly things out there as well. So it just depends on where you are, but there is something for everybody, no matter what. You know, me and my own practice, like I offer a range of different modalities based on these YouTube videos and some meditations and healings that are free. Then I have smaller activations for a little small energy exchange. Then I have my course, which is fabulous. I'm working with the ladies at the minute, and they are just loving the value, loving the space, loving the vibe, loving the creation of it. I'm very proud of the Hormone Balance Chakra course, and it is definitely something to start with, something you can do in your own time. Obviously, I'm taking a few ladies through it now live, but it's available anytime. You can dip in and out of it. Ranging right up to my one-to-ones, which are in person, online, and then my Akashic Records clearance as well. So, you know, there is something for everybody. So what does healing mean to you? And remember that somebody does not heal you. When people come to me, I do not heal them. I activate the healing energy for them to heal themselves. Okay, I'm like more like a guide. Just like if you're a parent, you don't own your children, you're a guide for them. You know, balance. So what does balance mean to you? Balance, hormone balance, the balance between masculine and feminine, the balance between light and dark. You know, with everything there is duality to everything. Okay, and you can look at how you know whether to bring something into balance in your own life, or whether it needs brought into balance or into alignment, which is another word. You will be shown what's not what's not in alignment or what's out of balance first, just to, you know, because that really helps to go, okay, that's where I need to focus. So, you know, when things go wrong, or, you know, there's conflict, or, you know, stressful situations, of course, you gotta, you know, just get through them, you know, do whatever you need to be okay to, you know, calm and balance the nervous system. But when you come out of that situation, then sit and reflect. That is the most important thing. You know, I had a guy in this week, and his back would get sore, but it always gets sore after a stressful situation. He's been through an awful lot of stress with his son and family and different things. And so he's now out of the stress, everything is okay. And now we can focus on his adrenals and balancing them. And there's actually a lot of people needing physical healing this week, which is why I brought the crystal bed and out, you know, real physical, nurturing, deep healing. So there's just been a lot, I think, over the Christmas period, over closing out last year. Last year was a tough year for everybody, and we sort of needed a moment of, many of us were stunned, we're in shock with, oh, what's going on, and then things that are going on in the world, you know, with these, I'm just going to call them the E-files, because I'm just, every time I see his name, I feel I'm going to be sick. You know, that is, you know, there's many different, you know, it's important to understand what's going on. It's really important not to be complacent, but also now we need to see the truth of some stuff, okay? But you have to maybe take it in like drip feed, you know, because it depends on what your nervous system can manage at the time. I certainly know me, the level of work I've done now, I am able to take in a lot more than maybe, like, for example, 2 years ago, when I was in like a highly stressed place with a lot of changes in my life, you know. And then we have the third word, which is love. Not even put it up on camera because it will go backwards. Actually, it's actually when you spell love backwards, it's like evolve, only you need to add the E in, which is interesting. I've never seen that before. So love, okay. Self-love. You know, be who you want to attract. So if you are, you know, looking for a relationship, or in a relationship and struggling to mend it or fix it, you know, whatever you're wanting in the other person, are you that, or do you give that, you know? The other thing that's important in relationships is to look at two things: what your love language is, and you can get the 5lovelanguages.com or something, you can do a quiz, and you do yours, they do theirs, and then you have to look at what their love language is. And everybody, you know, expresses love in different ways. Some people are touch, some people are, you know, little acts of kindness. I'm definitely little acts of kindness. You bring me a wee cup of tea, and I love you forever. Just, you know, wee simple things, not big grand gestures, but that's okay too if that is your love language, okay? And I love touch, and I love time together. That means a lot to me as well. And that's why sometimes people aren't compatible, because it's maybe too different, you know. And then the other thing is how you resolve conflict. You know, how you resolve conflict in a relationship is the key to success. And that's not just in love, that is with your children, as a parent, that is, you know, with co-workers, with your boss, you know, anything. It's how you resolve conflict, and just change conflict to conversation. That is the first key. And it's about, once you know, you do the inner work, you get triggered less, you know. So then you don't see it as conflict, you just see it as a conversation. Even if the other one hasn't done the inner work, as long as one of you is a bit calmer to take you through it, that's enough, okay? But also self-love, you know, that has to be where it starts. And even if it is, I don't know why I'm talking about relationships, maybe some people need to hear this. You know, I suppose, yeah, that does make sense, because we're in a number 1 year, and number 2, next year we will be all about new relationships. So there's probably going to be a lot of stuff coming up this year in preparation for that. But of course, we're in February, tail end of February, which is all about relationships and love. So, you know, how do you show your self-love? How do you, making sure you don't self-abandon yourself, okay? Because then that knocks the scales off, the scales of balance. So where do you need to do healing in that area? Where do you need to do, a lot of the times we are attracted to people based on wound, and a lot of the times we're attracted to people based on a father wound or a mother wound, which is why you have to go back to do the healing, okay? Right. Let's see. Let's ask for just an animal card. One animal card for the month of March. So we have healing, balance, and love. We have cutting cords, speaking your truth. We have death and rebirth energy, and letting go of the need to be right. That is the most powerful one, by the way. Okay. So what animal guide, please? Oh, it's peeking out there. The lynx. Don't like that. I want to put it back. I'll pick another one. I'm going to look at the other one at the bottom. I do this all the time, and then I pick the same one because it says secrets. That's why I don't like it. And it is a wee bit scary looking. Lynx. Let's have a look at it. Yes, secrets. Cat energy. I used to be scared of cats. That's probably why. And it's number 2. So cats are all about intuition. And you know what? Just as I have been talking about collectively what's happening in the world with these e-files, like a lot of that, if I was to give a piece of advice and learning from that, is to, if more and more of us were tuned into your intuition, if more and more of us had a love for ourselves, knew ourselves to be true, we would, in a situation, be going this. Now, obviously in that, there was a lot of people didn't had a choice, they were controlled. But there's a lot of other people have been drawn into it, which, you know, based on ego, based on being fed lies, you know, and that is the secrets that are being, you know, that are being revealed now, that have been hidden for a very long time, okay? And it has to come up in small doses for our nervous system. But I suppose why I wanted to put this bag is there could be some secrets that are coming up in your own life, some things that maybe you don't want to look at, or you've known and you're finding out the truth, and that can really be destabilizing. But trust that you're meant to know, and maybe your gut feeling has told you all along. Okay, let's pick another animal card because he's freaking me out. Oh yes, I like this one. Chameleon. I don't know why I'm saying it that way. Okay, card number 33, which is connected to Christ consciousness. Let's let a little bit of Christ light in here, thank goodness, because that other energy is pretty intense. So change is coming. Chameleon is all about change. We don't like change. So that's why we gotta be the change you want to be in the world. Start with you. You know, if there's things you need to change in your own life, we can get a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start. So you start little small baby steps. And then you really sink into the feminine. We are in the year of the horse, which is, yes, about forward movement, momentum, fire energy, the masculine, but a horse is also deeply feminine, deeply intuitive, deeply protective, which is the feminine. So it's a real balanced masculine and feminine. So there's the card, there's the word balance, bringing that into balance. And the horse's energy is also, like, the heart of the horse is massive. You know, that's the word love. And we are entering into this new earth, which is all about love, the fall of the ego. That is what's happening in the world. These top-down structures of control, money, power. So we are entering this new Aquarius, the fall of the Capricorn, and this Aquarian age, which is all about the heart, all about community, all about the rebel. And, you know, yeah, I mean, think of Joan of Arc, you know, she led the French Revolution, like a peasant girl. She was like 16 or 17 or something, like a miracle. Like, could you ever? But she did that based on her faith, based on love, based on God's love. Okay, and it wasn't just her alone. It was done as a community. Okay, believe in miracles, believe in magic. You know, I always do. I just go, nope. And I always think of the higher timeline. It always looks impossible. I hold on to that vision. And if it doesn't happen, very rarely it would, then I'm like, okay, there's learnings there. I need to go through that for learnings. Okay. Let's pick some cards here. And then, what are we? 24 minutes. I need to check. Oh, I'm okay. I have a client, but not for 45 minutes. Very organized. This must be the start of my new energy. So, discernment. I'm just seeing that wee word at the bottom. So, discernment. Yeah, be discerning. That was my word last year for the year. Okay, so what guidance have we got from the tarot for the collective as we work through March? Okay. Healer of the ages, I mean, there's Jesus. But also there's many of you, like, it's funny, I was talking about menopause, I was talking about estrogen, I was talking about, you know, that's you. So many, I'm feeling many, and there's the number 51. So I'm feeling many people in their sort of late 40s, 50s, males and females, because males go through a form of menopause as well, are stepping forward as a healer. Okay. And I had this conversation the other day where I was saying, like, you can still be a healer working at the checkout, just smiling at people, just putting lovely energy into the food that goes through your hands. Do you know, it doesn't need to be setting up a business, which takes a bit of time. You can start now. And I was talking to one of my male clients, and, you know, one of his friends is really struggling. I was like, just start working with him. I have attuned him to Reiki 1, just start giving him Reiki, you know, and just start guiding him. And charity work starts at home. And that's, you know, and just see where that develops. Okay, it's really important that you start off as just doing something that you love, giving from a place of love, and then seeing where it develops. I mean, you know, that's really where I started as well. Okay, but yeah, there's many people who are going to awaken as healers, not just in March, but this year basically. But there's going to be a lot of this rebirth energy bringing forward, you know, this is what I want to do. And I'm helping a lot of people in my priestess mentorship course, and many of them have left jobs and setting up businesses, and, you know, are just following their light and what lights them up in their heart, but doing it from a balanced place, not rushing into it too much, maybe reducing down to a 2-day week, maybe doing a course in something, or maybe knowing what they want to do, you know. Yeah, so we're at this crossroads decision making place. Okay, and you know, card number 8. So many out there are having to maybe make a decision, or feeling indecisive. You know, the liver is connected to indecisiveness. So get yourself back in your body, do a bit of a cleanse, a physical cleanse, because we do have, you know, in a few days or next week, I think it is, the lunar eclipse in Virgo, which is all about the body, the physical body, and all about health. To bring yourself back into balance, to do some healing, to make that decision, and just keep going back to these words, make that decision from a place of love, from the heart, not from a reactive place. So get it back into balance and then make the decision. So it's not based from a place of fear, it's based from a place of love. Okay, and that's card number 8, which is all about balance as well. When you turn that on its side, it's the infinity symbol. And then beside that is appreciation. Okay, so really get yourself into, you know, if you're to get yourself out of that fear, out of that imbalance, you want to get into a place of love, of gratitude, which is appreciation. Okay, being appreciative for the things that are around you, for what you've got. Like, you know, you can feel a bit hopeless, or a bit like sad, or a bit like, and that can be very, very genuine. But, you know, to help shift you, it's not about bypassing that. It's important if you are going through something, you feel it and you go through the grief of it, and you know, but then when you're ready, then you reflect, you look back at what's been learned, you look back on, you know, what you do have that is good, because we will be going through, because it is a full moon, we will be going through a process of letting go of the old. Okay, letting go of old relationships and friends and people, and that can be really, really difficult. It can feel quite lonely. So focus on, and I had the conversation with a client today, another guy actually, and I just said, you just have to be your true self now. And your true self is wonderful. It is a bit different and a bit quirky like me, but that's how you find me. And I said, there is a freedom in that. Many of us try to just fit in to this world, to be liked, and, you know, we are not meant to be for everybody. Okay. And there we have at the bottom of the deck, Archangel Gabriel. So that is the throat chakra again. It's also the clarion call. So there's like a call I'm hearing for many people, whether it's from your higher soul self, you know, your angels, to, you know, many people I'm hearing it ringing in the ears, and that is to get them to listen, get them to stop and listen. What is our guidance to be able to help with next steps in this decision? Okie dokie, let's put those over to the side. I'll take a wee drink of water. Okay. So I'm going to pull 3 more cards from the shamanic deck, and then I'm going to pull 3 more guidance cards from angel deck. So what other guidance have we got for March, please? March 2026 for the collective. Okay, so Shield Maiden. Okay, I love her. She's pretty cool. Make plans and focus. Yeah, this is a time to move. Many people think once they get New Year done, that is January. New year, new me, new beginnings. No, 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 no. This is the new year. This is the new year now with spring. Spring equinox, rebirth. What are those New Year's resolutions? What is it that you're calling in? How do you want to feel? Okay, what intentions have you got for this year? You might have written them in January and then they've went out by the wayside. That's okay. Go back and get them out of the bin. Don't feel bad. You haven't failed. Your body wasn't aligned with the energy because we're meant to be in a hibernation and a rest period. Okay, make plans and focus, but shield yourself. Okay, it's okay. It's not about going out there, you know, wide open, you know. It's about going out there with a discernment, with knowing what's out there, knowing the energies, but just maybe not giving them energy or focus. But you're not going to be complacent. You're like, no. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then wise one, grow within your current situation. So there's many people going through something tough, or, you know, I'm getting, and it feels like it maybe has improved a bit, but you're still in the shock period of it. You're still in that, and it's made you a bit numb and a bit like frozen. I've been there. So you've been asked to just, yeah, connect in with your crone self. Look, your wise one, your owl, the crone, the crow, the voice in the head. We all have a crone. A crone in, I was going to say, a crone in, it's called the crone in the female and the sage in the male, which is just sitting looking at me here. So for both males and females, you know, connect in with your wise woman and your wise man. You know, your sage is equivalent to the crone in males. Okay. And there's some guidance wants to come through to help you to learn. So I suppose, you know, so the same thing doesn't happen again. Okay. And yeah, with anything that is stressful or difficult, it's really important to be like the eagle, to see things from this higher perspective. When you're in a situation, so if you're in a conflict or in a situation, like that's traumatizing, and you can't, it's just like, I can't get out, you can't see the wood, I can't see a solution. So you stop and you like almost rise out of the situation and you look down at it and you actually see yourself, you see the other person. That's in a better place to actually see what to do, to actually feel compassion, understand for the other person, you know, to actually understand yourself. And it allows you to let go of the need to be right as well. You know, it's really, really powerful tool. It's not easy to do, so it's just about practice. All right. Okay, so final 3 cards. I'm gonna put those up there for once I'm not rushing these videos. What guidance have we to help the people watching, please? What guidance have we? I will try, I say this every time, I will try and get an activation done this month. I think we could do with one for the spring equinox. I promise, I promise, I promise. Just had a lot going on myself, but things are starting to calm down a little bit. So, helpful people. Yeah, reach out to people. Reach out to those, you know, ask for help. Sometimes we can be so used to doing stuff ourselves that we don't reach out for help. I do this. And then my friend always goes, why did you not contact me? I was like, oh, I should have. And when I was going through something very stressful at the end of last year, I did reach out to her and she was there for me, bless her. And I really needed it. So reach out to those around you. There is people around you. And if not, reach out to me. Okay, I will try my best to help. And don't give up, don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give up. Let the perfect timing arrive at the right time. Okay, time is not running out. If it's not here, if whatever you're calling in, whatever you're here to manifest, or you're waiting or getting annoyed and irritated, it's like, what is happening? It is not the right time. Trust the flow, let it all play out. There'll be many situations where you could look back and go, I thought that was the right time, and I'm so glad that didn't happen for this. You just don't know what's ahead. Okay, look at the card at the bottom. It's up to you. You are in control. Okay, you're in control of you. Please believe that. You're not powerless. You know, take action. This is the year of the horse. Look at that. This is the year of the horse. Okay, action doesn't need to be a big action. Okay, it can be a small step, but it's just to get the wheel turning. It's to get the wheel turning, and there's no need to worry. Okay, everything's going to be a-okay. Okay, much love. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully be back soon.